Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tardis zone. For some of us, it's very early in the morning, and for some of us here in the UK and in Ireland, it is the afternoon, 10 to 1 in the afternoon. Welcome. You are probably wondering why I'm doing this stream this early. Well, I'm going to probably do a couple of them today, but I have an article that I was sent. Matrix Lord sent me something last night. And I said, Fecca, he says, listen, you have to do a video on this. I said, Fecca, I'll do a stream on it instead. It'll be far more interesting to get the live reaction from people. But before we do start, obviously last night on the Irish Geek, we tried to do a watch along. Unfortunately, when I say halfway through, we were literally 5 minutes through the very first episode because I was talking beforehand. YouTube decided to take down the stream. So we did a sort of a watch along on the classic Facebook group last night. And surprise, halfway through, yours truly fell asleep on the bloody sofa. So I want to apologize for the people who were on the Facebook group. If you were actually commenting and you were worried about me that I had gone all silent, I actually fell asleep sitting up. Cheryl actually has a photograph which she showed me. I'm sorry, I'm not going to show you because it is embarrassing. Cheryl actually said to me, "Oh Jesus, I thought you were dead at first," because I was sitting up in my sleep. It was actually quite funny. But we did try to do a watch along on Facebook. We were able to watch a few things. We weren't able to watch what we actually originally wanted to watch, which was The Power of the Daleks. I am going to look into it and see how you're able to do it, because there is people out there that do watch alongs. Now, I don't know if it's because they've gotten permission off the BBC. If that's the case, then I'm screwed. I'll never get permission off the BBC to do that like that. But I'm going to look into it because it is worth doing, because the excitement that people had last night, and I was excited for it myself, to be quite honest. I don't think I actually would have fell asleep if The Power of the Daleks, if I had been able to do that last night. So for everybody that did join last night on the Irish Geek, and to those that actually subscribed to the channel as well, actually, because we were doing that, I really do appreciate it. We will try again when I figure out how we're able to do it properly. It could be something to do with the music. It could be, I don't know. We'll figure it out anyway. I'm going to look into it anyway, because it's something I definitely want to do on this channel. I mean, the excitement from people. I mean, on the Irish Geek, I have 80 subscribers or something I had, and there was over 40 people that joined the stream last night. So it shows me that there's a demand for this. And if recent events on Twitter show anything, there is a demand for these watch-alongs. And, you know, I know on Twitter now that a classic Who one is going to actually happen with Patrick Troughton's Doctor, which is great to see. But I'd like us to do something like that ourselves. I mean, we did mention it while you were doing the Day of the Doctor. I did mention it on Twitter, and a few others mentioned it on Twitter, that we'd love a classic watch along. The fact that Fraser Hines has got behind it now, it looks like it's going to happen. So yeah, there seems to be a demand by everybody here, and certainly on Twitter, Facebook, wherever you are, a demand for Doctor Who. And I just want to say something, because I recently got kicked out of a Facebook group. I'm not going to mention them because, to be honest with you, I'm going to be honest, they're all a bunch of twats, right? And the reason why I say that is because simple fact of the matter is someone put up a post to say that Jodie Whittaker is the best Doctor ever and they don't care what anybody says. All I said was, right? Now, I was warned about this group, right? I was told, no, if you manage to get into this group, trust me, you'll end up getting kicked out of this group. It literally took 2 minutes for me to get kicked out of this group. This was the first time I commented in this group, and all I said was this: I'd have to disagree with that. I respectfully disagree with that. I don't think Jodie Whittaker is a good doctor. I didn't like the other doctor either, Colin Baker. I don't think she is. I think Chris Chibnall is writing also doesn't help. And if they don't get it sorted, the ratings. I said something about the ratings going down the pan, right? So a couple of people commented on it, and the main comment was, well, what was it? Oh, well, if you don't like it, you know, you can leave the group. And I says, listen for a minute. If you don't like the show, that's what it was. I said, listen, I do like the show. I just don't like this era. I've been watching Doctor Who for over 35 years. Well, needless to say, I ended up getting kicked out of the group anyway, or my comments have been suppressed. These people, right, according to them, right, it's only a democracy if you have anything positive to say. As soon as you say anything slightly negative, now you don't have to go in there. I didn't slag anybody or anything, right? I didn't engage in a YouTube or in a Facebook fight with anybody. I just gave me points across because I knew what this group was like, and I just wanted to test the water today. And it literally took them 2 minutes to turn on me, right? It's absolutely ridiculous, and I even said it. It's sad how far this fandom has come. I said there used to be a time where you could, and you know what? I was writing this message and I thought, great, I'll get this in. They'll probably block me, right? And as soon as I finished the out, I went to press it in, right? It says your ability, you can't comment on any post and blah 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 blah. But according to them, it's not a democracy. The people that run this group actually as well, actually their rules. If you read their rules, if you don't believe in the whole climate change thing as well, by the way, you're kicked out of this group. This is how they run this group. It was actually funny. I don't know how I managed to get in, but I tried to get into this group and I answered all the questions. And obviously, the admin of this would have seen that I'm in groups that say, well, keep the doctor male, or not my doctor, or not our doctor, I should say. Those groups, but they still let me in. And I was watching and observing for the last week, maybe week and a half, and I was looking at the type of post that they were putting up. So this post, I just said, feck it, this is where I'm gonna try it now. And I got to make 3 or 4 comments altogether before I was suppressed. Dave, at the end of the day, I know you say report this group, but look, at the end of the day, you know, if that's what they want to do, you know, if that's their group, well then fair enough. If that's the way they want to run their group, that's fine, fair enough. I don't know how the group has over 14,000 or 18,000 people in the group, if that's the way they run it, to be quite honest with you. But it's obviously been renamed. And it was an old group out there and it's been renamed. But needless to say, if you go in there and even say anything, and maybe I will, some of you in the chat, I know actually on Messenger and stuff, maybe I'll send you a screenshot of this group and maybe you can try join these yourselves. And I'm not asking you to go in there and cause any trouble or anything, but you'll notice the way the group is, you'll see the kind of post. And if you go in and even say the slightest bad thing, you're gone. Oh, you can get this usual thing, oh, she's beautiful and all this, and they put a lot of photographs of her up when she obviously did a few lads mags or whatever magazines she does, and snapped in clothes and all this crap. And oh, look her, she's beautiful, look her eyes, all this crap. Right, let's get on to the title and the subject of the video. But before we do, we see actually that there's 11 of you watching. Welcome. I know it's a bit early for some of you. Some of you are probably still in bed and you realize that I went live. Don't worry about it. I had to get this stream out today because this is so funny. But even reading the title of this thing, the article is funny. Charlotte is here. Welcome, Charlotte. Charlotte was the first one to pop in. Welcome. Cyber Hippie UK, welcome. Lone Wolf, John Steed, Crystal, Jason is here as well. Who else have we got? We got Lee Anthony Davis and we've got Dave. Welcome, Dave. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you all here. Right, let's get to it. Right, so DC Comics have decided um, to release a comic called Gotham High. Now you're probably saying, "Well, why are you on doing a stream about that?" No, it's not your usual type of thing. You're right, but when I see when I read this, I said, "Are they for real?" And you will understand why I did do this video because, or this stream, it's absolutely, it's all I'll say is right is that the YouTubers out there that normally cover this are going to have a field day with this, right? But I'd also say to them, and some of them will probably hear this before they do their videos. All I will say is, I know you're going to rant and rave about this, and you have every right. I'm going to do the same as well. But what I will say is one thing that makes one thing that's clear about this comic is it reflects today's the way today's millennials go on, the way these students, the way these younger people go on. It's being reflected today. You see it, right? So you're probably wondering, well, what do you mean by that? Well, according to this, and I'll show you, apparently they do anything. So there's three of them. There's three characters in this main are the main focus, right? Bruce Wayne, Selena Kyle, and who's the other person? And Jack Napier. Obviously, that's the guy aided by the class clown. It kind of makes it's probably going to end up being the Joker. Look, I'm not familiar with this type of comic. I don't know if you can actually see it. Did I share it? I did. Okay, so I'm doing something right. So this is it's a graphic, if I'm correct in saying. It's a graphic novel. Now there's the trailer, right? Now I can't play the trailer because of obviously copyright issues, right? So let's read this, right? And this is where this first paragraph here tells you all you need to know about this book, and it also reflects, as I said, today's young people. Not all of them, but it's a minority of the people that this book actually represents, and this is what I'm talking about. I know the other YouTubers are going to rant and rave, but I hope they do point out that this does actually reflect the way these 16-year-olds go on today. Not all. We've seen them. We've seen the way they've carried on, especially during this crisis, the way they've disgustingly spoke about how old people should just die because it's an inconvenience for them. So this does actually reflect today's young people, unfortunately. Not all, but a majority of them that actually have the biggest voice right now. And why do I say that? Well, we read it now. From the #1 New York Times best-selling author of Alex and Eliza and The Witches of East End comes a reimagining of Gotham for a new generation of readers. Right? Now, here's the problem that I have with that. First off, right, DC Comics, like Marvel Comics, have built up their fan base over the last few decades. Okay, now, right now, the comic book industry, especially with what's going on in today's world, is on the verge of collapse, or has collapsed, or a lot of the comic book stores are going to close. Now, these people that write these comic books, in my opinion, have a responsibility, right? They also have a responsibility to help keep these comic stores open by producing decent comics. Now, again, when you see DC say that this is a reimagining of Gotham for a new generation of readers, already that tells you that they have no interest in the people that have been reading their comic books from day one, right? So So again, like most people out there you go, right? So right, a new generation. Sorry, there. I'll do it there. So new generation of readers, right? That's all they're interested in, right? So they don't give a damn about the 15-year-old kid that's now in he's well, not 15-year-old kid, but young kid that's now in their adult years that have been following these, but have been buying DC merchandise, wherever it is, the comics, the graphic novels, watching the animations, whatever it is, right? You've got support. So they've already said to people that buy this, well, listen, you don't count, right? We don't care about you guys. You have helped sustain our comics for decades, but we don't care about yous anymore because you're all a bunch of racist, sexist, misogynistic pigs, right? That's the way they look at you. So before they became Batman, Catwoman, and Joker, Bruce, Selina, and Jack were high schoolers who would do whatever it took, even destroy the ones they love, to satisfy their own motives. Now, listen, I don't know much about the background of Selina Kyle, I'm going to be honest. Um, I wouldn't say, I'd have to say I don't know too much of the background of the Joker either, but Batman has been on the TV, right? And it's also been on the big movie screen, right? And it also has a line of comic books and also the graphic novels. And I've watched some of the animations as well that DC have, which are absolutely, some of them are actually even better than some of the movies that they're producing, right? So, does Batman strike you the type of person, Bruce Wayne, that would hurt his mother and father, right, and other loved ones? Just no, they wouldn't. This again, as I said, reflects today's today's today's, as I said, today's millennials, right? This is what they do. This is what they do. They will do whatever it takes to get to where they want to, and they will destroy anybody in their path, right? Because it's all about their motives. It's all about their ideology. This is absolutely disgraceful, this is. And by the way, nobody's going to buy this. But the fact that they have it in print, you will get one or two brainwashed idiots that will buy this crap, right? But you're forgetting about the 99.9% of your fans that have actually, supported you through thick and thin. Again, it's like Marvel Comics with their safe space and their bloody trailblazer and all that. What is that? Snowflake. This is absolutely ridiculous, this is. So after being kicked out of boarding school, 16, now we do know that Bruce Wayne had a bit of a rebellion streak in him, right? We've seen that even in Batman Returns, he has a bit of he goes off, he fecks off, does his own thing. I know that. But to say that he'd hurt his own, what they are. So let's read this anyway. After being kicked out of his boarding school, 16-year-old Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham City to find that nothing is as he left it. What once was his family home is now an empty husk, lonely but haunted by the memory of his parents' murder. Selina Kyle, once the innocent girl next door, now rules over Gotham High School with a dangerous flair aided by the class clown Jack Napier. When a kidnapping rattles the school, Bruce seeks answers as the dark and troubled night, but he is actually the pawn. Nothing, of course he is. Of course he's the pawn because we can't have a strong white male. He has to be something. He has to be a clown. Nothing is ever as it seems, especially at Gotham High, where the parties and romances are where all the parties of romances are of the highest stakes and where everyone is a suspect. With enchanting art by Thomas Pitilli, if I'm correct, this new graphic novel is just as intoxicating as it is chilling, in which dearest friends turn into greatest enemies, all within hallways of Gotham High. See, I wouldn't have a problem with this if they did this 15 years ago, right? When we didn't have all of this crap that's flying around. But this is the only reason why this is written. And remember one thing, you can already see it there. Bruce Wayne is going to mess up big time in this. He's going to be a fool. He's going to be basically made an ass of, because you can't have strong men anymore in comics. You know, this is absolutely right. There's the trailer. Hold on. Maybe if I knock the volume off. See, I don't know if I should do this because... Right, hold on. I'm just going to stop sharing it for now. Right. Oh, no, the sound is off. Right. The sound is off. So I should be able to show you this. Now, I watched this trailer last night. It's 46 seconds long. If you haven't watched it, go and check it out. It's actually cringy. It's Selena Kyle kind of doing the narration over the whole thing. And it's just cringy. It's like she's involved in it. What they haven't said in that article is actually she's involved in a love triangle between Bruce and Jack. So she's in it and she loves it. She loves it. See, we can't have two people in a relationship anymore, whether it's two women, two men, man, woman, whatever your preference is, right? Yeah, it's like, what's the word? You can't have two people. It's not, two people in a relationship is not what they're trying to project, is not the norm. You can have different relationships with different people. It's all right. You can go happy-go-lucky. You can have whoever you want. The world is your oyster and all this crap. Making women out to be, I won't say it, but that's not how a woman should behave, or a man either, you know. Right, well, here's this ridiculous trailer anyway. So there's the start of it, Gotham High. Right, and it's Bats, whoever Bats is. So there you go. So there's the ad. So there's a mobile phone. Selena Kyle is 16, and she's basically explaining everything to you. There's Jack and there's Bruce, and he's all muscly there and blah blah blah. And there's Jack. Look, so there's Jack. No, we'll go back. Maybe I'm not there. So that's Jack. Right, looks very feminine, I have to say. Now, for a bloke, you know, you can't have a bloke looking like a bloke anymore, except there you go, even he looks. So Bruce Wayne, he has 2.4 million followers. So we're going with this whole social networking age, and basically she's just, you know, she's mad for the two of them, and there's a bit of kissing there going on, and this is how cringy this crap is going to be, and there you go. And nobody wants this bollocks, but anyway, it's going to be shoved down your throats anyway. There you go. There's the art. And that is it. So that's what they want to flog to you. Right? So feck the fans that have been, you know, buying and keeping this company going for all the decades. Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? It's not about making money. Let's just bankrupt the whole thing. It's ridiculous. And I can't see the comments now, so I don't know what anybody's saying. So I'm just going to stay there. I'm not going anywhere. I have to refresh this. There I am. I'm back. I'm back. What's it called? Polyamory. Yeah, that's the word. Right? See, but yeah, that was the word. I couldn't say it properly, but I think everybody, well, Cheryl knew what I was saying. That's why she put it on. right? So yeah. So there you go. I mean, and I know, listen, I know the other YouTubers are going to have a field day with this, but look at this comic, this graphic novel, unfortunately, does reflect some of these idiots out there, and it is a small minority of them. And the problem that I have, and the sad thing I should say is that DC don't realize that even these people won't buy this crap. They're not going to buy it. You're excluding the fans that have actually bought your comics, as I said, throughout the decades, and you're basically disrespecting them. Nobody even, I don't think, wants this story, if I'm honest with you. By looking at it myself, I wouldn't want this story. Does anybody really want to know? We know bits and bobs about Bruce Wayne's child, but do we really want to know everything? No. Do we really want to know everything about? See, this is again, these people are clueless. They think they need to give these people. Sometimes it's best just to leave be and leave the characters the way they are and play on that mystery a little bit if you want to, but you don't go back and do a whole story arc and say, right, well, this is what he was like in high school. You know what I mean? This is what Selena was like. She liked to have multiple men. Brilliant. Wow, that's a great example to be setting to young women nowadays, isn't it? No, but seriously, some people say I'm old-fashioned. This is a 16-year-old girl in this comic, right? And she's basically in a relationship, or she fancies both guys, and she likes a love triangle thing, right? She's 16. Have we lost our fucking minds? And I know high school girls, 16, they always have a boy crush or whatever, or a girl crush or whatever crush, right? They have a crush, right? This is the whole thing, they want young women to not listen, not bound by, restrictions. If you want to sleep with multiple men, you can sleep with multiple men. If you want to sleep with multiple women, you can sleep with multiple women. We're not going to judge you anymore. Well, you should be judged. You don't get into relationships with anybody if you're going to do that type of shit, yeah? Okay? And at 16, I don't think you should be doing that type of shit anyway. But if that's the way the world has evolved and that's the way it is, then feckin' fine. I don't agree with it anyway. But if that's the way it is, girls should be concentrating, like blokes should be concentrating on their education and stuff. Fucking ridiculous. But this is the age that we live in now. Anything goes. Anything goes. I watched something a while back as well. Some fucking professor thinks it's that we should rehabilitate pedophiles. Now, me and Cheryl watched the program recently, Louis Theroux, and he did, was it a two-parter? It was a two-parter, wasn't it? He went into this, it's a rehabilitation center, but in reality, it's actually another place just to keep pedophiles. But some do get out, right? So they get rehabilitated. And we were watching this show, and after we finished it, even both of us said it. Cheryl, I don't know, but I felt very uncomfortable watching this. And Cheryl said she felt dirty or so. We had to watch, and still now, we haven't watched Louis since then, actually, have we? No. See, we got turned off because, these were pedophiles being interviewed by him, and one got chemically castrated, which is fine, but then you're looking at the creep, they're just creeps. But this is the type of world we're living in, because you'll have professors that will back these men up, or women that have abused kids and said, well, we shouldn't just lock them away or kill them. We should rehabilitate them and let them back out there in the community. Are you fucking crazy? What kind of world are we living in today? What kind of world are we living in today? And again, we can go back to this comic or graphic novel, right? And unfortunately, it reflects a small minority that's out there that are selfish, that will do anything, right? They're all power hungry bunch of twats, right? And then when they get there, then they go and dictate to the rest of the fans and tell us what to do and tell us what we can read and not read. And this is what happens when you get people in DC Comics that don't understand the brand. When you get people in Marvel Comics that don't understand the brand, in Doctor Who, Star Wars, Star Trek, you name it, doesn't matter what the media is. When you get people in there, right, that do not understand the media that they're actually supposed to be working on, wrong words, but the media that they're supposed to be the experts in, the professionals in, and then when you see what they produce and it's nothing what people expect them to produce, well, then you have to ask serious questions. What's behind these people's heads? What's in their minds to make them think that this is what fans want? This stuff has been rejected, but yeah, they keep making the same media over and over again. Whether it's Ghostbusters 2016, whether it's Star Wars, whether it's Star Trek, whether it's Doctor Who, they keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, and they expect a different result every time. Well, that's the definition of madness. Isn't that what Albert Einstein said, isn't it? If you keep repeating the same thing again and getting the same result, or something, I'm getting the quote wrong completely now, I bet you. If you keep repeating the same mistake again, it's something about being insane, insanity, or something like that, right? Same thing, right? If the comic book industry, the film industry, they keep making the same mistakes over and over again, how many flops do they need before they realize that fans just don't want this? But these people have such big egos, right, that they're not going to listen. The creative industry, Lone Wolf has it sorted there. The creative industry has the wrong people in charge across the board. It's a sorry state, really. Exactly, that's what it is. The wrong people are in charge. They don't understand what they actually have. And if these people actually... Here's the thing. Comic book industry right now is in peril. A lot would say out there that it's gone, it's finished, right? But like anything, it can be resurrected. And, a couple of decent comics, with characters that are beloved, and if you can write them the way they're supposed to be written and actually bring out a series of comics or graphic novels that actually reach the standards that fans think, you could turn this around. But these people won't. They will keep going down the same route because they have an idea in their head. And like Chris Chibnall and that other gobshite said when it came to Doctor Who, when they're in charge of the show, they will do whatever they want to do, not what the fans want them to do. While they're in charge, they will bring the show in the direction that they want to, and fans' opinion don't count. Chris Chibnall even said it. It's not a democracy. And sadly, unfortunately, it's the same across the board. Comic books, movies, other franchises out there, other fandoms. It's that's the way it is right now. But it is slowly starting to change. The problem is there's still people out there that just won't take heed to the situation and continue to dig a bigger hole for themselves. Is this the end of DC Comics? Yes. Yeah. I think Marvel Comics now is gone, and I think DC Comics, and they've only got themselves to blame. Do I feel sorry for all the comic book shops out there and the people that genuinely love comics? Yes, I do. To be honest with you, I'm heartbroken for them. But this is just the world that we're living in right now. And until people change course, this is the way it's going to continue to go. And in the meantime, and you know what? I would say that this is cynical, to be quite honest with you. I say this is the plan. You get rid of big brands like Marvel and DC, you rebrand them, and you do what you want to do. And I think that's the way this is going to go. Like everything else, they just don't want us to have anything nice, and anything that they feel needs to be corrected, they will correct. Look at Chris Chibnall. He believes that Doctor Who's past needs to be corrected because it's in his head that it needs to be corrected. And he's going to do it because it's in his head. It's the same with these comic book people. The people that are writing these comic books, they have something in their head and they're not going to change. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say, they're going to continue to do it. But it is important that YouTubers that do normally cover this, like Ballstrick, Heels versus Babyface, Gary from Neurotics, Doomcock. It's important that these guys do highlight this sort of stuff and do keep complaining, because fans need to have their voices heard. And, you know, until these people need to start listening. And if they listen now, you know, I think Gary said in one of his streams last week, I don't know how his opinion has changed since then, but I do think he did say in one of his streams that they do have a chance to turn this around. But it's a very slim chance now, I would have to say. But I do agree with him on that one. Anything can be turned around if you get the right writers in place that understand the characters that they're supposed to be writing. But unfortunately, you've got the wrong people in power, because, you know, they have, as the comic book has said, they will do anything to get to that power. So this actually reflects not just the writers of these comics, but it reflects a small minority of the whole population out there that buy into this bull. And unfortunately, as I said, they are the ones that have the biggest voice right now. And it is unfortunate. I mean, look, I was never big into comic books myself, but I have gotten comic books in the past, and I have read some, and I've also watched all the comic book movies that they've made. You know, well, there is some that I haven't recently, but you know what I mean? I have watched most. I've watched a few of the old ones as well that are not very good. So I have watched, you know what I mean? But comics was never me forte. But my little brother is into comics, you know. So he'd be the person that'd be affected by this. He also got me into the DC animations, to be honest with you. What was the last Batman animation I watched? It was the Killing Joke, I think. Was that the Killing Joke one? Yeah, the Killing Joke. I also watched the Gaslight one, the one where it was set back in Victorian times. It was. That was a pretty good animation as well. So, like, you know, I'm getting into these things. I do enjoy them. You know, I have come late to the show. Comic books now, I still haven't went out and bought any. I won't support these people now. I wouldn't go back and buy their old comic books unless I could get them in a charity shop or something like that, or car boot sales. I certainly would not be supporting DC comic or Marvel comics right now, because they're disrespecting the fans that have kept these. And you know what? Someone made the point about Stan Lee be turning in his grave. I do agree. And I agree that anybody, the creators of these comics originally, the creators of DC and the creators of Marvel would be quite sickened at what's happened to their brands, to be quite honest with you. But as I said, unfortunately, this is the way society is right now. And it is only as, look, at the rest of us we all get on with it. We don't bitch and moan. You know, life is tough, you know, but we chin up. We do what we have to do. You know, right now, the world is not in a great place, and the whole world isn't in a great place right now. We are seeing people pulling together, and, you know, and you'll notice actually the people that are pulling together, it's quite stark. Actually, you see these millennials slagging old people, their comments. People have lost their jobs, and rightly so. There was some disgusting woman that put up something. Old people are ruining my life and all this, and they. I don't care if they die. Just get it done and over with. She lost her job and all. Her employer saw it and sacked her. That's the type of thing that needs to be done. Another fella as well on Twitter yesterday. I don't know if he's being banned, but he wished the Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, because he tested positive for that. He says, we can all celebrate when Boris Johnson dies. These are the type of people that this comic book is aimed for, but they won't even buy it either. But they come out with this crap. They come out with this rhetoric. They don't care. And you know what? I was called a boomer the other day. And I actually laughed. I said, listen, you little twat. I'm a Generation X anyway. So get your facts straight. I'm Generation X. I don't care. I don't care. I'm Generation X, and that's the end of it. That's what I am. That's what me date of birth. I'm Generation X. So if you're gonna slag me, oh, and they think okay, boomer is somehow an insult. It's not an insult, you bunch of idiots, and that's your only argument. You don't have an argument. So fuck off. Stop wasting my time and everybody else's time out there. And all you twats behind this DC comic, right, or DC graphic novel, hang your head in shame. Hang your head in shame, right? That Bruce Wayne is going to be a pussy in this comic, right? He's in a love triangle that he probably doesn't even know he's part of, because the woman Selena Kyle and the description of her was actually quite revealing when they said good girl gone wrong. You know, this type of shit, you know, get away. The woman has to be in power, right? And that's what she's going to be. She's going to play under her emotions. She's going to toy with them, because the woman has to be the strong character in this. And somehow by ridiculing men and being in a love triangle is somehow empowering young women. Well, fuck you, it doesn't. And you ought to be ashamed of yourself. All these people behind this graphic novel, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. And to all you fans that used to buy these novels and comics, I really do feel sorry for you guys. I really do. We've gone through it with the Doctor Who fandom. The Star Wars fandom's gone through the same. Star Trek fandom. Look, entertainment as we know it is dead. And that's just the bottom line. And you know, it's kind of disillusioned me over the last few weeks, especially after the Timeless Children. I haven't recovered from that at all. I even spoke to a few people last night and told them, you know, I was burnt out. The whole thing is just killed the passion that I had. And then I said to someone, I just need a spark. I need something. And then along comes Matrix Lord with this bleeding article, and I said I had to do something. And you know what? I'm grateful. Thank you. It's what I needed. I needed something like this, because to be honest with you, I'm only happy when I'm ranting about something, to be quite honest with you. And this was worth having a little rant about. But there's nothing to be positive about. I tried to do something positive, and the BBC just, ticks. So, and I'm even starting to get a bit disillusioned with this watch-along thing on Twitter, because I just have a funny feeling that BBC are actually really behind this, and that it's being pushed by certain people. But I've been told different, that it's being pushed for a reason, and I hope it is. For the reason that I've been told, but I just don't know. I just don't know. My passion is completely gone. That's what he's done. He's actually, I've been watching Doctor. It just hasn't been the same. I have to be honest. Like, it's put a smile on my face for a few minutes, but then I just think of everything that he's done. And it doesn't matter. People keep saying to me, but they another showrunner come in and wreck on it. It's not the point. It was on screen. We all seen it. We all seen what Tecte, or whatever that person's name is, that Gallifreyan did to that kid to get the power of regeneration. That's always going to be in my mind. And then them abomination cyber lords, dead cyber Gallifreyans in cyber bodies. Again, doesn't make any sense. But again, that's all in me head. And then when I watch Patrick Troughton, or I watch a John Pertwee or a Tom Baker, I'm watching, and I'm actually, everything that Chris Chibnall has done just pops back into me head. And then I look, and then I get upset, because then I realised what they've done on screen was for absolutely nothing. Everything that they said was a lie. Everything that they did was false. Everything that we believe the doctor to be is a complete lie. This is what Chris Chibnall has done. That's what he's done. And then someone said in that group, what's the difference between the doctor and a Gallifreyan? And then people were given the old explanation, right? And they were all right, but they're technically wrong now. And that's what I wrote in the group as well. Well, these are all technically wrong. According to Chris Chibnall, the doctor is a refugee from an unknown planet that was brought back to Gallifrey to be experimented on to get the power of regeneration. Like, the doctor is not even from Gallifrey anymore. The doctor was raised in Gallifrey but was experimented on. I always liked the idea that he ran away from his people because obviously, you know, the reasons that were originally given. And I know people say, well, that is, it's in your, you can keep it in your head, but that's not what's on screen right now. And that's what I can't get past right now. That's why I wanted to do this watch along last night. I just wanted to be with other fans that felt the same way, and we could all sit and just reminisce, and we couldn't even do that. That's what I mean. Even when you see the box sets, Jason, they changed it. It's the Tom Baker era now, or the Patrick Troughton era, or the Colin Baker era. It's not the Fourth Doctor's era anymore, or the Fifth Doctor's era, or the Sixth Doctor's era. They've got rid of the numbering system. They've got rid of the numbering system. Well, what can you do? What can you do? Right, I see that there's a few more people in the chat, so I might as well give you all a shout. We're going to finish this stream in about 12 minutes anyway. I don't want to get all depressed either and get everybody depressed, but right now I'll just... Right, we've got Derek McManus is here. Welcome. We've got SM, Jason Howell. Welcome. We've got Bad Bug, Lone Wolf. Welcome. John Steed. Welcome. Hold on, I actually want to check something on Twitter though, real quick. See if I got a reply. No. Sorry about Ted. Leland is here. Welcome, Leland. Leland. Who else have we got? The what? What? The Amazon? Oh, all right, I did say SM as well, but the Amazon, welcome. Didn't see you there. Sorry, the chat was bounced up there. Have I forgotten anybody? I think I've got everybody anyway, so that's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. But fans are still complaining, which is great. This whole watch along thing has to be embarrassing for BBC. That's why now they're probably coming out and trying to do their own thing, which is quite embarrassing. It actually shows, it reeks of desperation, actually. To be honest with you, BBC need to realise, and I wrote this up on Twitter yesterday. Listen, I don't want the BBC or any of the Jody bots or any of the shills out there to think that the recent success of this the reason why this was successful, I should say, is that the Doctor Who fandom has been starved of decent Doctor Who for a few years now. It's not just Chibnall's era, more so Chibnall's era, but Moffat, the end of Moffat's era wasn't the greatest, right? So we haven't gotten decent Doctor Who in a long time. The reason why this was successful, because the Day of the Doctor obviously was the 50th. Now, it's not my favourite episode, but I can understand why people like it. It still felt like Doctor Who, and I would say I would watch that over Jodie Whittaker's any of Jodie Whittaker's episodes or Chris Chibnall's era, which says a lot, because I am the greatest fan of the 50th, and I have to stay true to myself. I haven't been, and I'm not just going to say all of a sudden that I like it because I don't like Chris Chibnall's era. It's not my favourite episode, and never has been, so I'm going to say that, right? Even though I did get a ticket, the two brothers got me a ticket for my birthday, and I went to see it, right? There were some parts I enjoyed in it. I did like the fact that, you know, all the Doctors were in it, the Doctors that they brought in. I did like that. I just didn't like certain parts of the storyline. But, you know, it's watchable, right? Then we go again then, and we had the Rolls, wasn't it? That was the next one then, right? And that was RTD, right? Now, the reason why that's popular and the reason why that got such attention was because it was the first episode to return. It was the first episode of the new era. But BBC America and BBC, if you look at them, and the shills think that this success is they kind of worded it in a way, well, maybe Jodie Whittaker's Doctor deserves a second chance, because maybe, you know, we might have put it on the wrong time slot, or we put it on the wrong day. So now there's this whole talk of a watch along with Spyfall. Now, what can we do when fans do that, right? Well, it's easy. We want you to use the hashtag Hartnell First or hashtag RIP Doctor Who, right? The point that we're trying to get across to the BBC is that, listen, you need to take a step back here, guys, right? The recent success doesn't mean that everybody is still loves Doctor Who. Yes, they still love Doctor Who. That's correct. But don't let this be mistaken somehow that Series 12 and 11 was maybe put on the wrong time or the wrong day slot or whatever, right? It's nothing to do with that. It's the fact that these are far superior episodes than that they've gotten in 2 years. And that's why this whole thing has been a success. So BBC and BBC America need to realise and get through their thick skulls that this has got nothing to do with, you know, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor being put on a different time slot or being put on a different day, or they got it wrong the time that they put the show on. No, it's nothing to do with that. It's got to do with the fact that that this show, this era of Doctor Who, has been mediocre, and fans were screaming out for decent Doctor Who, and that's what they got. And I'll even say the Day of the Doctor is decent Doctor Who. It's just not my favourite episode. I have my favourite stories out there. That's not one of them. It's not my least favourite, but it's you know what I mean. It's one of those average episodes for me. That's just me, right? We all have different opinions. Some of you in this live chat will absolutely love the 50th. Fair play to you. You know what I mean? I'm glad that you think that. For me personally, it wasn't. It was a bit of a letdown. For a 50th anniversary episode or story, for me, it was a letdown. I was expecting more. And I was, at the time, I have to say, very disappointed that Christopher Eccleston had not came on board. So there was a bit of that going on in my head as well. But BBC need to get through their heads. The J-bots need to get through their heads as well, because they think all of a sudden now there should be that Series 12 and 11 should be re-aired on a different day and a different time. No. It's not going to happen, because simply nobody wants this era of Doctor Who. And if anything, as I said, these little watch-alongs have proved that. Even my watch-along, if I had been able to get it done and it turned out to be a success, I know if I had done another one, right, I would have had double or maybe triple the people watching. There is a demand for Doctor Who right now, but it's not Chris Chibnall's Doctor Who there's a demand for. There's a demand for Moffat Doctor Who, there's a demand for RTD Doctor Who, and there's a demand for classic Doctor Who, right? There is no demand for Chris Chibnall. And by the way, I did put up that, did I pull up that video yet? I did. I put up the video. I don't know if I read the Rose prequel. Was it prequel? Yeah. I read the Rose thing that RTD did. Absolutely fantastic, right? Clever. As usual, brilliant, right? And then I read something, and before I knew it was Chris Chibnall, I read something that I thought was written by a 5 or 6 year old. And it turns out that it's written by this current showrunner. Now, he decided that he'd do a whole thing where Jodie fell out of the TARDIS because there's a loophole apparently, or there's a plot hole, right? So the tick fans out there, right? And I mean the tick fans because they are tick, right? We're kind of saying, where did the TARDIS go? So Chris Chibnall decided that this is what he was going to do. He was going to do a little short thing where she's falling out of the TARDIS and she's thinking of all these random things, right? And I read it. And I read a bit of it on this channel and I couldn't read any further, right? It was written by an amateur, right? I even know people out there that write, that even do reviews that are better written than this crap. And this is from today's showrunner, right? And BBC are wondering why Doctor Who is failing. You just need to see what he wrote on that little short piece to see why Doctor Who is failing, right? It's an absolute joke, right? I'm not even a writer, right? Cheryl's not even a writer, and I know she'd write something better, right? Cheryl reads a lot of books. She could construct a whole thing where she falls out there, and she could actually come up with something better. And if you haven't read it, right, go and read it and expose it for the stupidity that it is. And if you haven't watched my video, do me a favor, share the video everywhere. Show people the level of Chris Chibnall's writing. It's an absolute joke. He is pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. I don't know. And then Screen Rant. Was it Screen Rant or Little Spy? It was Screen Rant, yeah. Then Screen Rant decides to do an article to kind of not try to defend it, but obviously they come out with an after he did that, they're going to do an article on it. And then he says he ties up this plot hole. Oh, these people just fuck off. Chris Chibnall, just go, William, and you're a clown. Everybody can see that you're out. Seriously, you're way out. And by the way, here's another thing as well. What is RTD and Stephen Moffat anyway doing this for? Right? Because according to Chris Chibnall, right? According to the stupid idiot's mouth himself, he asked RTD to do something special because people need a doctor now, right? I'm sorry, but you're the showrunner, you bleeding twat. You're the one that's supposed to be doing this, not RTD, not Moffat. You're in charge. You're supposed to be comforting the fans. And by the way, Jodie Whittaker and our video, right, is an absolute joke. Peter Capaldi does one the day before, and then she comes out and does one. Then everybody said, "Oh, that was great, Jodie Whittaker, what she did. Oh my God, she's absolutely fantastic, isn't she? Oh, look, oh, she's beautiful too, the way she is. Oh my God." Idiots. Anybody that says that was a nice thing for her to do, just look at Peter Capaldi's video. That's the reason why she did it. That's the reason why she did it. She did nothing up until then. She hasn't gave a shit since then. And then people saying, "Oh, it's great. She's a real doctor. She's a real doctor because she had the costume in her house." Do you know that? Do you know that? I bet you it was actually delivered to her, right? There's no way she has that costume in her house. What, you think she puts it on for her husband or something? Come on. I'm fucking sick of these clowns. Right? And I'm sick of the fans. And by the way, if you're a Doctor Who fan and you support this crap, yeah, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Ought to be ashamed of yourself. Don't call yourself a hooligan. Don't even dare call yourself a hooligan. If you agree what that gobshite did, right? Right? The Doctor is a refugee, right? Who was brought back to Gallifrey, who was experimented on, right? That turned into multiple races and multiple kids and multiple boy, girl, whatever, right? Every single race was nearly, every single continent was bleeding represented nearly when we seen that whole fucking experimental scene, right? Bloody ridiculous. Bloody ridiculous because Chris Chibnall can't have 12 men as the Doctor. No. Sorry, Ted. Do you know what? I hope this virus ends soon. I really do. Right? Some people say, well, you know, I'll say it for this reason and this reason only. Because the sooner Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker do Series 13 and get the fuck out of here, the better. Or even better still, maybe this will make the BBC realise that they backed the wrong bloody horse and they'll actually kick them to the curb. Because that's what they need to do. It's absolutely ridiculous. You can't talk to anybody about this era without kicking off. You can't even talk to a showrunner. You can't talk to any of the writers. They block you. Even old writers block you because they don't like your opinions. Right? People that I actually admire and enjoy their writing. Imagine a write. See, that annoys me as well. This is what kind of killed it completely dead for me, by the way, is when what's his face that wrote Human Nature, Family of Blood blocked me. That annoyed me. That was it for me. That I was done after that. When you get an all writer that basically goes back on everything that they believe. And they do. And I can understand why they do it to a certain extent. But don't block me, mate. Don't block me. Why not leave me? Let me have me comments. Let other people say. You mightn't be able to say, this is what annoys me about these people. I know that some of these people hate this, right? But yet they'll block anybody that complains. Don't block them. Let them say what they want. Let other people on your Twitter feed see what these fans have to say. Stop denying the fandom. And it goes with DC Comics as well and Marvel. Stop denying your fandom. Start writing what they expect you to write. And this isn't some sort of what did they say? Fans not expect. They have this what's the word I'm trying to use? Not expect.
Skip the word.
No.
Skip the word and say it, and I'll tell you what the word is. Use the whole sentence without the word, and I'll tell you the word.
BBC did an article on it. They said fans are. What was the article? Fans. They said fans was what? Oh, they said self-entitled. Yeah, there was a self-entitlement, right? That we were self-entitled. It's not self-entitlement, right? It's what we expect to be written because we've watched the show for years. We know as fans how the show should be written. So listen to the fucking fans. You listen to the comic book fans as well because they know how the comics are written. You listen to those fans too. You ignore the fans, you end up in the shitstorm that you're in right now. Whew, I needed this. I thank you, Matrix Lord. I needed this. I needed something to start me off again. And I can't wait now until this next watch along happens. Right? It's the 11th hour. Right? And I'm going to be there. I'm gonna watch it. Me and Cheryl are gonna do it, but we're gonna watch it because that is Doctor Who. And I encourage you all to watch it. Even though, look, we need to embarrass the BBC right now. Right? So watch. But while you are watching, use the hashtag RIP Doctor Who. Right? All the way through it. Right? Get a fucking trending again. Right? Show the BBC, right? Show these people that are behind this that we are not going away. Until they bring back Doctor Who the way it should be, we are not going away. We are gonna keep our voices going, because wasn't Paul Cornell the one promoting the anti-gun campaign last year, telling us the Doctor is anti-firearms? Yeah, the same Paul Cornell who blocked me because, you know, he's a twat. And I'm sorry, he's still one of my favourite writers, but sorry, Paul, you are a twat. You're a sellout as well, just like the rest of them. Anybody that comes out and defends this that's been on the show before, I'm sorry, I'm going to call you out now. You are traitors, you are shills, you don't deserve any of the fandom. You're better off just going quietly into the night. You are a disgrace. Principle, loyalty, right? These fans were, these people that were in this show are as loyal as they say they are. Well, come out and fucking say something. I don't fucking care, right? You've made your money off this fucking fandom for years, right? Come out and say something. Come out and say something. Enough is enough. How far does the show have to fall before you fucking decide to say something? The fans will back you. Fuck the shills. The real fans will go and see in the conventions. The real fans will give you their money. So stand behind us. Like Stephen Moffat has a little go, but go full hog, mate. Go full hog. Come out and tell him how you fucking feel. Someone in this fandom needs to do something. Someone part of this show that was part of this show recently needs to come out and say something. Only then. This watch along thing has started something, but someone has to have the balls out there, like Peter Davison did, and come out and say something. We will get behind you. The real fandom. If you're loyal to Doctor Who, you'll do it. Fuck the BBC. They don't care about you. We're the ones that care. We're the ones that give you air money. So do the right thing. What happened? Crystal got kicked out.
I've had that happen too sometimes.
All right. Yeah, YouTube is acting weird. By the way, just make sure you're still subscribed, because I tell you something, I thought that YouTube is really, there's something really going on with it. Some people are not getting notified. And then I check, and my subscriber count is going up and down like a yo-yo. Every day. Every day. The bots are working overtime. So just make sure that you're still subscribed. And all those other YouTubers that you're subscribed to, make sure you're subscribed to them as well, by the way. As we said, your support does really mean a lot, especially now. And also, you know, we're all keeping each other company, especially here now in Ireland. We were officially locked down at 12 midnight. So we're only allowed to go out for either medical stuff or to go and actually get food. But that's the only time we're allowed to go out. And of course, if you're an essential worker and all that. But the country is completely locked down now. Leo made the decision. So for 2 weeks. I know, yeah, it's lucky I did go to the shop yesterday. I know, there's queues everywhere now. But at least I'm saying now, though, Irish people seem to be copping on now, though. There's still some that aren't, And what I would say to you are, you're a selfish cunt and you deserve to be locked up. But for the others that are actually doing it now, fair play. I do see that where there's queues now for the shops, people are observing the social distancing rules, or whatever you want to call it, that we've been given, or advice that we've been given, which is good to see, but it's a little too late. Oh, last night as well, I found out that an old virus that was there originally has reappeared in China. One person has died. So now there is a second virus on the loose in China. Now, I said this before, and I don't care. People can call me a racist all they want. I don't give a shit. We need to do something about China, and we need to do it now. How many times, as I said, does this country, as health and safety issues have to come up, people have to die before the governments of the world say, China, listen, get your shit in order, or there's going to be sanctions put in place. Something needs to be done. But yeah, there was a mad queue for Tesco Navan this morning. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Look, I went down to the shop yesterday morning. I thought I'd be a smart arse and I'd go down at 10, which is a bit early for me. But I went down anyway, and there was a queue. Now, luckily, by the time when I got into the queue, there was about 12 people in front of me. But I was there, we were there for a good 20 minutes, and then when I looked behind me, the queue was right around the corner. But even then, nobody was practicing. I actually had to go with a few people in the queue. I said, listen, you might want to be an idiot and not actually practice social distancing, but I don't want to die, so back off. Seriously, I needed to do this rant. I need to get a lot of things off my chest, and I still haven't gotten a lot. There's a lot of things I do want to say about Chris Chibnall, and there is a lot of things I want to say about Jodie Whittaker, because I'm sorry, I'm not buying her good girl act right now. I'm not buying that video. I'm not going to be seduced by it. I'm not going to fall for her fakeness, right? And by the way, I'm sorry though. If you're playing the doctor, right? And I know it was a video to reassure the kids, but could you at least stick to the fucking script? You know, you're a doctor with multiple regenerations now, apparently. So the virus, why are you in self-isolation? Stick to the script if you're going to do something like that. Peter Capaldi, if you haven't seen Peter Capaldi's video, by the way, I'd recommend you watch that one. It actually is for kids hospice. And then he gives us a message about us all staying safe and stuff. It's Peter Capaldi is just such a legend. I mean, that guy is just. And when I heard those stories, people saying behind the scenes he was an asshole and all that, and I jumped to his defense straight away last year. There's no way. You look at that way that man behaves. There is no way. Yeah, it's the hantavirus. Hantavirus. Yeah, it's back again. It's caused by mouse. Yeah, rat species. Yeah, so it's back again. One person has already died from it. So we got the correct. And by the way, I just want to say something about that other thing that's going on. China is now reporting false statements, by the way. So anybody that thinks that China is in the clear, the only reason why the Chinese government's coming out and saying that is because this whole thing has kind of destabilized them a bit. People have started to question them. So now the rhetoric with them is, oh, everything is fine now. You can go back to work. We've sorted it. Nope, they haven't. We are heading, I'm just warning people right now, even after your government tells you that it's safe to go out, I would stay indoors for an extra 2 or 3 weeks after that. Why? I do believe, right? And already people have actually texted me on Twitter to say, no, you are spot on. Because I already know what's going to happen, by the way. And I'm sorry to the precious, but you ain't having a Christmas this year. Because we're still going to be in this situation. Because there's going to be a second wave from China. Because they're lying to their people. They're lying to the world. They have not got that situation under control. Okay, and they're going to let people move freely within China for starters, and then eventually, then when the rest of the world decides to let people in, then those people, Chinese people that are infected, will be coming back into our countries. There will be a second wave of this if we do not actually pull China up. Also, and what actually backs this up is there's actually evidence, by the way, because some people do say, well, have you got evidence to prove this? Well, there is evidence. There's 38 million mobile phone accounts or something, or 28 million it was, whatever the number is, that have been deactivated by the Chinese government, which means they're suppressing their own people that want to get the information out there. Coronavirus, I'm not the saying it now, but coronavirus in China is not gone, okay? And the Chinese government are lying, right? So listen, people will slag me off, right? I'll get people in the comments, not the live comments, but I will get people in the comments slagging me off, right? I'm telling you now, there will be no Christmas shopping this year. We are going to be still indoors, right? Italy, right? We've seen what's happened in Italy. Spain's going to explode. UK is going to explode. And Ireland, if we haven't gotten our act together as quickly, but I think we have, I'm hoping we have, but if we haven't, it's going to happen here. Europe is going to become the new epicenter. Then it's going to die down, and then we're going to get the second wave from China. And I do not believe the Chinese government. So look, it's up to yourselves. If you want to believe the government and the health experts, because I don't even believe the WHO. I've said this to Cheryl. I said it to her last night. I said, Cheryl, there's something else going on. We're not being told the truth. Why not? And I think the World Health Organization as well, if you listen to the way they've been talking about China, they've been licking China's asses, right? So I wouldn't even believe the World Health Organization right now, right? We're not getting real-time data from China, right? Whatever data we're getting from China is manipulated anyway, because it's the same in some other countries. They're only testing people that have actually got symptoms. They're not testing the whole. Look at this is impossible, right? But this is what needs to happen. Everybody in Ireland needs to be tested. Everybody in China needs to be tested. Basically, everybody around the world needs to be tested, because this has been rampant for 2 months before we were even told about it. So for all I know, I already have it, Cheryl already has it, and everybody in this apartment complex already has it, right? They're only testing people that show symptoms. So that is not the real number anyway in China. It's not the real number in Ireland. It's not the real number in UK. It's not the real number in Italy. It's not the real number in Spain, in France. It's not the real number, because we don't know what the real number is, right? China has fucked up the whole world, because every health system around the world now is being exposed for being not great, right? We do not have enough supplies. This is the reality, right? So I'm sorry, I'm just letting you know. I'm not trying to frighten anybody here, but when the government tells you Easter Sunday, when it's supposed to lift here as well, that everything is alright, that you can go out, don't listen to them. Don't listen to them. You're putting your own life at risk. Don't listen. Listen, I predicted, no word of a lie, I predicted the economic crash 2 years before it happened. 2 years before we went on a global recession, I called it, right? I'll have to try find that Facebook post. It should actually, at some stage, jump up on the timeline when the appropriate date comes along. I forget when I actually put up, but it will come up, and I'll show you. I predicted the economic crash 2 years before it happened. It was so obvious it was going to happen. The economic experts were blind to what was happening. I watched back in those days, I watched a lot of economic news. I watched a lot of the news. I was like, seriously, I was on top of things, right? I was on the internet doing me thing, doing me research, right? This whole thing with this is, I'm telling you, is right now. When the experts tell you that it's all clear, it's not. I've even heard a few of the big wigs say, it won't be a bad idea to have a reduction in the population. Bill Gates was actually here saying it back in 2015. And he actually did predict that there'd be a big virus that we wouldn't be prepared for a few years back at some seminar. right? So these people are way ahead of the curve because they know, right? And we're not prepared for this. So listen, yes, listen to the medical experts in your own country, but the World Health Organization, I wouldn't be listening to anything that they say, to be quite honest with you. And when they say it's all clear, it's not all clear. China needs to get back to work, right? Its economy is destabilizing. The government is destabilizing. They're putting people's lives at risk because of politics, right? Politics. And by the way, it's a communist state for fuck's sake. So how does anybody believe that comes out of their mouths in the first place? See, this is the thing. You get this. Well, China oppresses its people. It's a communist state, but then all of a sudden they're all on the Twitter. Oh, China says it's okay. We believe them. We believe everything is great. We're safe. Yes, hail China. China are brilliant. Everybody forgot who started this crisis. I actually asked Cheryl something, which was actually quite funny. But I actually said, has there any been, because someone brought up South Korea. So I have to bring it up, right? The elephant in the room, North Korea, right? I wonder if there's any coronavirus cases in North Korea. And you know what? I would actually have to say, right, that there's probably not. And North Korea is probably the safest place on the planet right now. Oh, how ironic. I tell you, you just have to laugh. I mean, look, we will get through this. Humans, us as we are very resilient. You're seeing a lot of good out there, which is absolutely fantastic. But also you're seeing the ugly side of human nature with some of these millennials out there. And it is sad because it is only a small minority of them. The rest of the world is pulling together, but these gobshites, still have to complain. Actually, that brings another point. This is a bit off topic, but Kim Kardashian has decided to go on Instagram and start something with Taylor Swift. So all this bad, yeah, no, she brought it back up again.
No, she didn't. Everyone else did.
Oh, did they? All
right.
right. Well, it doesn't matter. That family is irrelevant anyway. I mean, listen, if they're still trying to make themselves relevant, when this is all happening, it just goes shy. And you are seeing it with some of these celebrities. They're still trying to stay relevant. Now, some have done some great videos out there, and I'm not going to lie, but they've all kind of jumped on the bandwagon now, and it's getting a bit old. Feck off. YouTube is their domain. You know what I mean? And, maybe we should, introduce ourselves. This is our platform. So you're on our turf now. So, but there's a few of them that have been cringy. I have to say, the best video I've liked is Tom Hanks' wife. And I'll never say anything bad about Tom Hanks and his wife, but those two people, that's the way you handle this whole situation, to be quite honest with you. They've been absolute, and did we expect that less from Tom Hanks and his wife anyway? No.
Tom Hanks is one of the few celebrities that, he had the choice, like Kelly Clarkson, who I love, and other people, all got in their private jets and flew off to their remote little cabins somewhere and stuff like that. But you know what? He didn't. He was in Australia. He didn't feel well. They tested him. He immediately got quarantined in the hotel room where he was, and they didn't leave. He's like the only I'm doing everything they say because that's what Tom Hanks does, because he cares about other people. I love Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, if he was Irish, I would say he would be one of the best Irish men. He's a legend. He is just everything. That man, there's nothing bad. Look at his movies as well, his interviews. He just comes across as the most humble man. And every man should aspire to be Tom Hanks, actually, I think. He's a comic genius as well. His movies in the last few years have been absolutely fantastic, actually. He is just, I just love art, and he's in Tom Hanks. Actually, we should do a few Tom Hanks review movies. I'd love to do that, actually. But
Yeah, he's the only celebrity that I can say that's going to come out of this. Oh, and Ryan Reynolds has done so brilliant as well. I love Ryan Reynolds' videos are just. Oh, and Ricky Gervais, of course. Now, Ricky Gervais, I just want to say something about Ricky. Ricky recently lost his cat, and you can actually see it in his videos. I don't want to feel sorry for him because I know that's not what he wants. He wouldn't want that. But you can actually see that losing this cat has really affected him. But again, it shows the character of the guy that he comes on every day and he does a kind of a vlog. He talks to everybody. He's doing his own little thing. And I read something yesterday which was heartbreaking. So some father in Ireland, his 3 kids were basically murdered by their mother. Now she's up for murder charges, but because of all this thing that's going, yeah, they think she's obviously, she lost her mind. She's probably depressed, going through stuff. So we can't judge the woman. She was obviously going through harsh times. But a father has lost. He's obviously on his own and he's in self-isolation. And he has said, since his kids have passed away, he's been getting letters off the public and they've really helped him. But he actually put out an appeal for people to continue to write to him during self-isolation because he's finding it very tough now. And you can hear, are you going to write to him? You said you were going to write to him.
Well, I said that and then I was thinking of something. And this is where I'm concerned that being with you for so long has made me start being like conspiratorial about some things. But it's not even a conspiracy thing, it's just a weird thing. Just hear me out on this. Okay, so the people that are sending all this out, the post office, the postal workers and all these things.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming none of them are wearing gloves. We know that the virus can live on surfaces for a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
So people are bringing it in their house and then they're going to be sending all these things.
Right.
Is it possible, and I'm genuinely asking because we don't, is it possible we could be further infecting people by doing?
I know, I get what you're saying. And you're probably right, but
I mean, I'm just curious about like all the kinds of things like we're bringing.
but he'd probably wear gloves and burn them.
And then you got these little gobshites that are out there licking things and spitting on things.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, I personally feel that's not like an arrest thing. Whoever sees you doing that should get to punch you so hard in the face you get knocked out.
I know.
That seems right to me.
But it's just like you see things like that, and then you see all the people in London clapping. The whole of England. But there was a video I seen on Twitter, and it was London, and someone was in their apartment block, and they opened their window, and the whole of London was clapping and cheering for the nurses and the doctors of the NHS, which I thought was very, very. And you had the same thing as well in Brazil. The people in Brazil actually were protesting. They were protesting some government official or something, but they were still doing something. But you are seeing these lovely stories. I seen another one of some girl. It was her 12th birthday or something, or 14th birthday, and she obviously couldn't have a party, so her parents had organised with her other parents, whether you agree with it or not. But they all got into their cars, so parent and their kid, and they drove by the girl's house and they were waving out the window, wishing her a happy birthday. Now, for me, while I was watching that, I was actually thinking, yeah, but one of those parents in that car has coronavirus, like they kind of screwed everybody. But it was a nice little thing. But you are seeing some really the best of humanity come out in certain people. And then the people that you expect to be vile assholes are actually, they're to form. So, these people, trust me, after this, these people will be reviled. Is that the word? Reviled even more after this crisis, because they haven't done themselves any favors whatsoever with stuff that they've been coming out with. And to wish anybody to die from this horrible thing, and I don't care if you hate anybody, whether it's Donald Trump, whether it's Boris Johnson, or whether it's someone that in your life that has made your life hard, right? If you wish that person dead, well, then you deserve to be punished for that, because you don't wish anybody It doesn't matter how hard they've made your life or anything like that. Be the bigger person. Feck it. And I do wish Boris Johnson the best because it must be fucking horrible for him. His wife or his girlfriend has recently announced that she's pregnant as well. I don't think people realise when they slag Boris Johnson off as well that he does have a girlfriend that actually is pregnant, and people out there wishing Donald Trump gets it as well. I mean, he is 70 odd years of age as well. Like, how dare you? I don't care what your personal opinions are of the man. You don't wish anybody dead. It's absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. But you're seeing these people out there. But trust me, after this crisis blows over, those people will face the consequences because people won't let them away with it. The best thing about social media is that you might write something up and delete it, but there's always someone there that's taking a screenshot of your stuff, and you'll always be exposed in the end for the creatures that you are. And also, I just want to say the UK, when Boris Johnson announced, I was watching it on Sky News, and the Sky News reporter, you could see he was trying to hold in his laugh. The other one didn't do it so successfully. He was nearly laughing through his report. And then I heard then also that Eamon Holmes and his wife Ruth, then when they were talking about Boris Johnson, they were actually having a giggle about it. Imagine laughing that someone has gotten coronavirus and could actually die. This isn't a laughing matter, right? And because the celebrities is okay, is it? If you laughed, you're a disgusting human being. That's what you are. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. You've noticed in the last few years, people throwing milkshakes and all that, politicians. A lot of things is being let slide over these last few years, and reporters and journalists and people that do programs like that are supposed to be professional. You're supposed to leave out your personal feelings. Yeah, you might think Boris Johnson's a bit of a knob because he was going around bragging about shaking people's hands. Fair enough, right? But when you're on TV and you're reporting that your prime minister actually has coronavirus, well, then you should do it professionally and wipe that fucking smirk off your face. And people know him, right? It's disgusting. There's the guy. I've noticed as well, by the way. I don't know where you are in the country, but have any of you noticed a Garda presence, not a police presence, more of a police presence? Because that's the third time now today that I've heard that Garda helicopter outside.
They're supposed to be stopping people.
That's what I mean. I think that's what's happening. I think they're seeing to see if there's people in the street.
More than 2 kilometers to their house. You have to do like a medical thing or something like that.
But everybody should be tested, in fairness. But that's where I stand on it. But listen, forget about it now. We've spoke about it. Look, it's the thing that's happening. Of course, we're going to veer off. We did an hour anyway where we talked about the comic. It's only been 33 minutes since we kind of covered this. So it's all good. But I'm just saying, listen, we will have to see how the summer. I mean, it's in Australia and the heat over there hasn't affected us. So this thing doesn't get affected by the heat, it looks like. So people were praying, the summer comes in, it's going to blow over. This is why I think we're in this for a long haul. And I don't think we're going to have a Christmas this year. Well, I mean, we will probably have a Christmas, but it'll be a Christmas where everybody will be at home and there'll be no gifts exchanged because there'll be no shops to be open. You will get your turkey and ham and obviously whatever you eat over the Christmas because those essential supermarkets will be open. But there'll be no places open where to buy gifts. They will not risk it. So Christmas, and mark my words, I've said it. What's the date? What's the date? I just want to mark this occasion. So it's the 28th of March. Yes? March?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah? Right, it's the 28th of March. Remember that I said this, that there'll be no Christmas. Because I do not believe that this is going to be over, like they say. And Daniel, you're right. Don't go out, mate. And if anybody Listen, I'm going to make a plea to you all now. Don't go out unless you really have to, right? I.e. to go and get food. But if you do, yeah, or to take your animals out, because remember, it is hard for people to stay self-isolated like me and Cheryl when we do have a dog. And, you know, he does have to go out, and other people will have animals, cats, dogs, whatever. You know, you will have to bring your pets out. Again, as I said, if you do have to go outdoors, make sure you wear the mask. Make sure you wear the gloves. Make sure you're covered up, right? Then when you come home, make sure you wash your hands, wash your face. Make sure you do it straight away. Seriously, I've washed my hands so many fucking times over these last few weeks, and I do wash a lot, don't get me wrong. But obviously with this thing, I'm washing even extra. My fucking hands are as dry as that, and you can notice it. Now, this is what I'm saying. I was saying to Cheryl when we first heard about this, let's move down the country. It's probably the safest place now. But it's even down the country. So this is why I'm saying don't be listening to anything that comes out of the Chinese government's mouth about this. This crisis is not over by a long shot. And thank you to the 18 people that have stayed with me. While I know, as I said, the last half hour has been about that, but you know, it's what's going on in the world today, and you know, we do really need to address it. I know it's not what the YouTube channel is for, but this is what some YouTubers are doing, and rightly so. Rightly so. If we can do our bit by giving advice to you guys and giving you a bit of comfort, then that's all well and good. But I need to basically tell you the reality of the situation as well. I'm not gonna pussyfoot around that. I do not think that we've been told the whole truth about this whole thing. And that's where I stand on it. Now, whether you agree with me or not, that's fine, fair enough. You have your own beliefs. And I will never, ever tell you that you're wrong. But what I would say is please just take the extra precautions. But do your own research. And if you think that the World Health Organization in China is telling the truth about this, then fine. Fair enough. I can't change your mind, but I'm being honest. I really do not believe them. And even after we're told that self-isolation is over, I'm not going to go out unless I have to go to the shop. That's it. But I will not be mixing with people. And I will go to shops where there's not many people. I will continue it. I cannot take the risk with Cheryl, especially. And even though I'm in dire straits myself because my health hasn't been great over these last few years, I would rather risk my health than risk Cheryl's. So I don't know. I know there's a few of you in here that would probably agree with what I'm saying, and I know there's probably a few in here that don't. But all I'll just say is listen, just right now, just stay safe. You know, I've been getting messages off people that are out there in the front line. And one of those people is Ballstreck. Another one is Matrix Lord. Right? So remember, there's actually people that we know, YouTubers that we know as well, that are out there in the front line. Right? It's not just family members. I've got a sister that works as a nurse in the hospital, in the ICU unit in the children's hospital, and she's classed as essential, and she has to go out. And she has a daughter as well whose health, you know, as a kid, it hasn't been the greatest. So again, you know, there's a lot of worry for family out there as well. You know, my brother recently had a new baby as well. I mean, he has to make sure. I don't know if his job is classed as essential. I know he was working as a forklift driver in a warehouse at some state, but I think they did food or something like that. I heard he had a different job. So it could be one of those places that isn't. But we all have people that we know. We all have friends out there that are on the front line. So that's why I say to people, and I do go down on hard people that don't observe the social distancing and stuff like that. You know, we've got people out there, that we genuinely, care about, that are on the front line. Family, friends, and it's worrying time. I'm not getting much sleep. I don't know about yours. I know Hill versus Babyface hasn't been getting much sleep either. My sleeping pattern has been all over the place these last couple of weeks. This has just thrown me completely off, as well with all the other shit happening. It's just, I don't know. Did we all ever imagine that 2020 would be like this? Look, I did say that 2020 would probably be worse than 2019, but I didn't think we would actually be under threat. I thought World War, maybe there'd probably be a threat of a third World War, but never thought anything like this. But again, as I said, when this is over, I think seriously, because look, it'll happen again. That's the thing. How many times has it already happened? So it'll happen again. And next time, there won't be any protocols to follow. There won't be any of this self-isolation business. Remember, they get worse every time. Next time, there will be no defense. And that's where people need to be thinking. You need to be thinking like that. Next time, there will be no defense. Remember, there's people out there that have predicted, things that have happened, that have came true. Some of these, even back in ancient times, have said that a disease or virus will wipe us out, right? And it will happen eventually. I just didn't think it probably happened in my lifetime. But there you go. And of course, it is an invisible enemy, and you can never fight an invisible enemy. And again, problem being brings up a great point. People like myself and himself and others that suffer from depression, mental health, are going to really suffer from this isolation. So remember, if you know anybody like that, it's always good to give that person a bit of a few words of encouragement, maybe a text, phone call, 5 minutes. Trust me, even a 5-minute conversation makes the world of a difference. Really does. So yeah, look, just stay safe, folks, and do what you have to do. And to all you knobheads out there, millennials, they're acting ridiculous, thinking that you're invincible and thinking that, that it's unfair how this is affecting you. Well, listen, life is unfair. We've been through things that have been unfair. The difference between us and you guys is that we've always been able to move on and get on with it because we realize life is hard and that there is mishaps along the way. Life is like a game of poker. You never know what hand you're going to be dealt, but you roll with it, don't you? You get on with it. You move on. These people can't move on. Everything is me, 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 me. I'm a victim. Me, 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 me. The coronavirus. It's not fair. I can't do this. I can't go out and see my boyfriend. I can't go out and do this and that. I can't go out and hang out with friends because, it's all these old people. It's their fault, Why should I have to suffer? They're the ones that are going to die. I'm invincible. Why should my life be wrong? Why shouldn't I be able to go to work or go to school or do all that? That's generation selfish. Matthew Pounder, well done. That's exactly it. Generation selfish. I love that. I love that. I encourage the crazy millennial types to continue to lick toilets. Well, 2 of them have ended up in hospital. Now, again,
one was crying like a little bitch.
Yeah, too. But I will say, I hope they do get well soon. But I hope they use their experience now to talk to others of their generation that are ridiculous, that have been ridiculous like them, and are able to convince them. What am I actually fucking talking about? It's like talking to a brick fucking wall. They're not gonna fucking listen. Those idiots will say, "Oh, well, they probably had something wrong with them," right? And they continue to lick the toilets. Yeah, yeah, that is actually disgusting, I have to say. But of course, this has been called the boomer remover. You know, this is the way they go on. Listen, these people don't realize that they actually need Generation Xers and they need boomers because they're the people that are going to save their lives. And that's the sad thing. So we had some woman with a blue tick on Twitter try to generalize this whole thing, trying to say that more women are going to die from this than men.
It's been proven that most people are dying are male.
I know. Most of the people that are dying right now are male, I know. But this woman died. There's no talking to a dickhead.
No, because, oh, this needs to go down.
I know, yeah. Toy. I know. I could. That's why I spray. I know. It's the chicken bones.
Oh,
I'll bring it down. Just put it out in the hall there, and I'll bring that out actually, because you can't go downstairs with that.
I made Ted go outside.
Yeah, good. No, get a bit of it. Yeah.
We took the steps up. Yeah,
right,
I thought I would wear them out, but no.
Good. No. But listen, as I said, we will all get through this, and hopefully I'm still around to annoy the hell out of you after this blows over. But listen, me and Cheryl should be pretty safe anyway, to be quite honest with you. 2 weeks, this is going to be a holiday for me. I'm going to love it.
Well, we have to do all the errands now.
I know I have to do all the errands, but I said I was willing to take that risk because, you know, at the moment, you just need to stay indoors as much as possible. Yeah, stop, Cheryl. If only you could see what she's doing. Oh, she does this weird dance, right? I don't even know how to explain it.
Explain it. It's dorkier than Chandler's dancing.
Yeah, she does it with put a smile on my face. She always makes me laugh when she does it. But listen, I don't wish any of those kids that are doing these stupid things. I just wish they'd cop on now. You need to cop on, right? This isn't the joke. And there is still some older people out there not taking this seriously either and thinking it's a joke. Well, you know, it's not. So stop being selfish. Seriously, come on. Enough. I'm not even going to rant about this anymore because there's no point. I want people to stay safe. And the only way you can stay safe is locking yourself up and keeping away from other human beings. Now, for me and Cheryl, that's kind of fine because we don't like other human beings except ourselves and our families. We don't like mixing really with other people because, you know, today's people, I don't know, they're not. They just no. When I see, we went out a couple of times, and I just see and you've got crippling anxiety. But even when we do go out, like when we went to the Hard Rock and all, there's a couple of people there that just no. I don't know, just idiotic. You know, there's some people out there that you know that just seek attention all the time, and you see it a lot now because that's what these people want. They want attention, validation, and all this, and they think they're oppressed. They don't know what being oppressed is if I smack them in the face, half of them. But listen, you know, they're fragile little egos, can't take too much damage. And then they go out and do stunning and brave things as well. And they're always stunning and brave. And let's give everybody a round of applause who's stunning and brave right now. Can you get supermarket delivery? I heard some store. I know in the UK they're doing that. I don't know about Ireland, but I'm pretty sure. But the priority is, I'd say you would be able to, but I'd say if you rang them up, they probably will start asking your age. And the reason for that is because, as Cheryl said, they will they will put the old age pensioners priority, and they'll probably encourage us to go to the shops. That'll stop the old age pensioners from going if they can get deliveries. So that's the way it should be done. Anyway, personally speaking, that's the way it should be done. I think supermarkets should prioritize deliveries to the old age pensioners around the country. And then for us that are capable of still walking and using their legs, we just take the precautions and go out and get our shopping. You can't live without food. So, the supermarkets are not going to be able to deliver to every single person in Ireland. It'll be the same in the UK or wherever country you're in. So we have to understand that as well. And remember, we talk about the doctors and nurses that are on the front line, but let's also remember those people that are in industries that are classed as vital as well, like the supermarkets. I've also seen that some laundromats have remained open because they have to, because some people need their clothes washed because they don't have a washing machine. So in some cases, they're left on. Remember, those people are also being exposed as well, right? So, and as Derek says, if you do get deliveries, there's probably there's going to be a very long time before you get your food. You'd probably order it and you probably won't get it till the next day in some cases. That's it.
Don't wait till you need it.
Yeah, that's it. But again, you don't need to go out and panic buying either. The supermarkets, the farmers, all of them have come out, especially in this country, and told us, listen, there's enough food. We're not going to run out of food. Right? They see this whole thing, people think we're going to run out of food. Crops haven't failed here. Right? Okay. Nothing has failed here. There's a virus out there, but everything else, is still, there's still meat being produced. Maybe not at the fast rate that they're in, but we're not going to run out of food. There's going to be plenty of food, right? And plenty of toilet roll. I went down to the shop today. We don't actually need toilet roll, but I went down, right? The toilet roll is gone now in Ireland. They're doing the same thing here now. They're being twats. You don't need toilet roll. You don't get the shits, right? I don't think he's even getting a runny nose. I think it's just a dry cough.
It would literally take you, what did he say, 60-something years?
Yeah, 60-something years to go through the toilet paper that some people.
Rolls of time.
There you go. Well, a lot of the supermarkets here in Ireland have actually provided free hand sanitizer, and in some shops, free rubber gloves too, right? And they've put up the pre-prex glass as well to protect the workers, which is great. At least they're doing something, right? And you are right. Yeah, if some shops do bring you a hand sanitizer with you, but some shops are selling it. And I have to say, there's some shops in Ireland are seeing it. They're selling five hand sanitizer, small bottles for €2. And I thought, fair fucking play. And I want to give a shout out to the shop. It's Willie's here where I live. I have to say, no, because we got plenty. But listen, I have to say that guy has never ever took advantage of his clientele, and I have to give it to him. Right? He's over there now. He's only recently got over a sickness himself, and he's put himself on the front line there, and he's selling the hand sanitizer at a very cheap bloody price, right? Because he's not about profit here. He wants to help bloody people, and he's selling the masks and the gloves, but they're cheaper than most places that I've been in. So I want to give him a shout out, because I know there's a few people from Dublin that do listen to me streams. So don't care, let them. Good. I'd rather give him the business than half of those twats out there that are taking advantage. I've seen those disgusting videos, especially in the UK, actually. Now, I haven't seen any here. I'm not saying it hasn't happened here. It is happening here. I know it actually is. It's just not being documented as well over here than it is in the UK. But I've seen some of those shops that are run by, let's just say, people that are not originally from that country, all of a sudden jacking up prices of toilet roll, jacking up prices of hand sanitizer, antibacterial soap, anything that people think are essential items. Some fella in London charged £10 for a small bottle of hand sanitizer. £10. Now that video was floating about Twitter, It's still, I reckon it's still up on Twitter. The fella that made the video wanted the shopkeeper exposed. I'd go even one further. When this crisis is over, they're the shops that you boycott. Any shop that's taking advantage of actually this situation, you should boycott and ruin their business. There's people dying out there. Don't be a selfish prick. The thing about it is, it could be one of their family members, and then they'd be crying. Oh, you can still order your fish and chips, by the way, in Ireland. So I don't know.
They all be delivered though.
Right, but the thing about it is, yeah, they're suggesting that you go, that you get it delivered. But again, I was actually saying this to Cheryl, and I actually get what some people are actually saying. But those people are working in there. If one of them has corona, it doesn't matter. It's going on your fucking food. So, in fairness, I don't think takeaways or restaurants should be allowed to deliver. I'm sorry, you've got your supermarkets there. Stop being lazy twats and cookies are filled. But I do love a fish and chips, I have to bleed and say. Who did?
I did.
You got kicked out of the chat? You got kicked out of the chat? Oh my God, for how long?
I don't know, I was talking to my dad, and then I flipped back. I now have to prove I'm not a robot.
Oh.
Again.
You just have to prove you're
not. I always have to prove I'm not a robot.
Oh, it's because he's on YouTube. Yeah, listen, you need to do this, right? Anybody that has no content on their video, do a couple of minute videos, 2-minute videos. Do about 2 or 3 of them, right? And put them up. I've noticed, right? This is the way, if you have a couple of videos and you get people to view those videos, they don't take down your account. They don't take down your account. So as I said last year, even if you do a video and if it's of a plant, right? And you're just looking at it and you put on your David Attenborough voice and you go, and this is a dandelion. And it will grow to about 3 feet, right? Even if you do something stupid, right? Couple of videos, right? Your YouTube channel will be okay. Once you get people to comment on the videos and stuff like that. You could even put the links to your fucking YouTube channels in here and we'll get people to just like and watch your video, right? But you really do need to start putting content up on your YouTube channel. As I said, even if it's a bunch of bleeding photographs that you want to put in a little slideshow like I do, just do it. Just do one and then your channel will be fine. In this current crisis, the bots will recognize that your channel is actually active. They're taking down channels that has no content, right? And no subscribers. So again, those channels as well, if you could subscribe to those channels, even though you know, you are helping each other out basically, right? You are helping keeping your channels up so you stay subscribed. I had 1,520 odd subscribers last night. I'm back down to 1,510 because YouTube has actually either deleted accounts or has removed, as Cheryl has said, removed people from following me. So you really need to start, seriously, you need to start doing little things like that. And even when this crisis is over, YouTube is coming down heavy on accounts. And if you know content, well, then you're automatically classed as a troll account. And as you know yourself, most of you only set up a YouTube account or a YouTube channel so you can follow your favorite YouTubers. Unfortunately, you will have to put up little shitty videos yourselves, whether you like it or not, to keep you, because you will have to keep setting up an account and then it'll keep getting taken down. Do you know what I mean? So to keep the account that you actually have, you know, as I said, even a fucking few photographs of your favorite place or strange things in the sky, whack it in a slideshow video and whack it onto your channel. Bob's your uncle. How's this for news? A person who worked at McDonald's got tested positive yesterday, 10 miles away from me. Glad I haven't eaten in McDonald's in years. See, this is what I'm talking about. this is what the McDonald's and the Burger Kings now. Even Burger King followed suit because they actually stayed open an extra day, but I think they're all closed now. They had to, they no choice. But what you call, I really do think restaurants, and look, I'm not going to slam these restaurants for trying to do something good here because they are. They're trying to get deliveries out to people, you know, because they don't want people, especially those vulnerable people. But unfortunately, right now, this is unprecedented. And you're still going to have chefs working in the kitchen. Now, I've worked in the kitchen, right? Now, some kitchens are very confined spaces, right? And some kitchens, it's very hard to keep your distance, right? Especially the distance that we've been told to keep, right? Now, it doesn't matter how much protection. Now, as a chef, you do wear rubber gloves, right? And in some kitchens, they do insist on you wearing rubber gloves. You do wear the head net, and you do have your hat, right? You have all of that, right? But you're still one person in that whole kitchen sneezes, everybody. If that person is affected, everybody is. You need to stop it. So I'm sorry. Even though they are doing good and they're trying to help people, we still have the supermarkets there. So I think all restaurants should close. All chippers, curry shops especially, should close. Actually, it'd be very interesting to see how it affects how long these takeaways, chippers, Chinese shops, Indian shops, whatever, your kebab shops, how long they'll be able to stay closed for before they have to reopen. Because remember, they are all businesses and they will have to reopen at some stage. But I really do believe right now, because we're in uncertain times, we should actually close them down. We've got, as I said, stop being lazy and cook your bloody dinner, for God's sake. And you know, some of you have probably never cooked in your lives. I would encourage people now, you have plenty of time in your hands. Why don't some of you learn how to cook for yourselves? You will probably surprise yourselves how good you will be. Maybe I will do a cooking stream on the Irish Geek for you.
Good. You want to do it now and make me something to eat?
No, but I'll make you something to eat now. Right, well, that's my cue. That's my cue.
You know you'll do another stream later.
Well, yeah, I am on with the Rabbi later on, actually, and I do have to watch 3 episodes of Picard. So actually, I better put the dinner on and get that. I actually put that on, or I'll never get through bleeding through it. Yeah, so we're going to be on Rabbi's channel. And I don't know what's happening after that. I don't know if I'm doing another stream with someone else. I don't know if there was something organised. I'll find out because I'll get a message sooner rather than later. If not, I might do something myself because, to be honest, I haven't done that in a couple of days. And, you know, I threw me back out, as you know. Well, not threw me back out, but I did something. I woke up, my back was in bits. The wife had to put heat cream on me, and my leg was acting weird. I just couldn't sit down on a chair. I had to actually lie flat. So I couldn't do the stream that day. So, yeah. So I'm kind of trying to make it up to you. This is why I did this stream. So I'll probably do another one, but it won't be for as long because I wasn't even supposed to be on for this long. But we'll probably do an hour stream later on. We'll see what happens. I might even rope Cheryl in. Do you know what? After I finish with Rabbi, we'll see what happens what time we finish with Rabbi, right? And if I don't have another stream, what I might do is I might watch an episode, because me and Cheryl are watching Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi. Now, I know we're doing a watch-along, right, every Sunday, and we're on the 4th series. But we might do a one-off Peter Capaldi episode and just review it and have a chat about it. I'll let Cheryl pick the episode for it, because then Cheryl, then I could bring her on and then we can actually talk about the episode and she can tell me what she like. Peter Capaldi is an interesting doctor to do anyway. I don't think he has been really reviewed that much by YouTube channels. Maybe I should have started backwards and started off with Peter Capaldi and worked their way back But no, we're going to continue. So we have the Unquiet Dead on Sunday. Remember, tomorrow, the panel, the Unquiet Dead. So if you haven't watched the Unquiet Dead, uh, we'll be streaming tomorrow at 8:30. Wasn't it 8:30? We did the last one. Yeah, 8:30. So if you can watch that episode before 8:30 tomorrow evening, come and join the panel. We'll be here and we will be reviewing. And I'm going to stay strict to the review, right? Because last week we did the review and then we kind of got sidetracked. But what I want to do for these, I actually want to stick to the review, right? And if we want to talk about other stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the stream, right? Finish the review, and then we're going to come back on and continue the conversation about something else. But it's going to be strictly episode reviews because there's no point in doing them if we're going to end up then talking about what Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker have done. It's about the episodes that we love. So I'm going to stick to it because Cheryl did make the point, and I looked at it myself, and others made the point as well. It wasn't just Cheryl, it was other people as well. And I kind of had to listen back myself. And I have to say, we did speak for the episode for about 15, 20 minutes, and then we went in a totally, completely different direction. And I don't want to do that. It's about Christopher Eccleston's series. So I want to do each episode the way we would have reviewed, the way we reviewed series 11 and 12. We're going to pretend that the rest of the years don't exist. And we're just going to talk about the Unquiet Dead as if we watched it for the very first time. So that's what I want to do. And then after that, right, so there'll be 2 streams from now on Sunday. We will have the episode review, which will go on for an hour. That'll be the panel. That'll go on from 8:30 to 9:30, right? And then from 9:30 till 11, we will have then another stream where we can talk about absolutely anything else that we want to talk about. And I think that's the best way to do it because I really want to review these episodes. I really don't want to have, when we're talking about these episodes, then to veer off. I just want to concentrate on that because I really do. Look, this is kind of helping me with me Doctor Who thing that's going on in my head right now, right? And I don't want to talk about her. I don't want to talk about him while I'm reviewing something that I actually love, right? We don't need to keep bringing those two up all the time when we're reviewing Series 1. And I think that's the best way to do it. Right, listen, I'm going to go feed the wife before she actually eats me and turns herself into a zombie, a brain-crazed zombie. Thank you all for joining me. I appreciate it. 20 of you ended up being here. If you haven't liked the stream and if you've joined late, I would encourage you to actually watch the start because for the first hour, we did concentrate on the subject that we were speaking about. Well, in fairness, an hour on that and then an hour on what, trying just to talk to people, I think was fair, especially with what's going on. So, what you call it? What's this crap I'm saying? Keep drinking hot liquids, everyone. Yeah, but in fairness, right now, listen, because Cheryl made the point as well, and it is true. I mean, I'm all for people giving advice about this, right? But you can't say that hot liquids kill this if the medical experts haven't actually come out and said it kills this. If that's the case, we'd all be drinking hot coffee, hot tea, hot soup. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but I'm not one. I don't think we should be saying things like that because some people will literally take it as, oh yeah, this will work. Drink their tea, drink their soup, and then go out into the public then, and they could end up being sick. Right, but I am going to feed the wife before she turns into a zombie. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. And listen, I'm fine. You don't have to worry about me. I just threw me. It's nothing got to do with this crap. It's just um, I don't know what it is. Whatever I did when I was sleeping once, I just haven't been right since. But I'm grand. Cheryl's fine. Ted's fine. Um, Ted now knows I've mentioned his name now, so he's grand. But okay, I'll have a look. Problem being, I'll definitely have a look. It's just, you know yourself. I'm not giving out our and you know I'm not. I just, we have to be very careful when we give advice out there, especially if it's medical advice. But if there is actually, if this is true, well then I don't know what the big deal is then. If hot liquids,
You would be fine if it's hot.
So, because I drink a lot, yeah. Right, listen, I'll talk to you later on. I will be on Rabbi's channel later. Wash your hands, wash your clothes. Don't leave your clothes outdoors. If you could dry them indoors, even better. As I said, only go to the shop when you really, really have to, or go outdoors when you really, really have to. And, as I said, problem being, make a point, there is people out there that suffer from mental health as well. If you do know anybody that does, it would be nice to drop them a text, even maybe a phone call, just a 5-minute conversation. Hello, how's everything? Hope you're doing well, blah, blah, blah. Stay safe, the usual. But listen, folks, to everybody out there, stay safe. To everybody that we know that's on the front line, helping saving lives or whatever it is you're doing to make people's lives a little bit easier, we thank you. Stay safe. I'll talk to you all soon, as I said, on the Rabbi's channel. And I think Rabbi, I can't say anything because I don't think he's announced it, but I think Rabbi has something to announce on his channel, which is very, very exciting. He told me yesterday, and I'm absolutely delighted for him. So hopefully he'll have some news for you tonight. Or if not, I'm at the totally putting him on the spotlight now, and he's going to be asked. But it's not, but it's going to be good. That's all I'm going to say. Listen, folks, take care. Talk to you really, really soon. Stay safe. And Canada has 4,689 cases. That is really sad. Ireland's cases have jumped as well, unfortunately. Listen, as I said, though, stay safe. Talk to you soon. I'm joining the Blue Bonnet in an hour for a stream. Need to bounce, says Daniel. What's that stream at 4 o'clock airtime, is it? If that's 3 o'clock airtime while I'm cooking the dinner and sitting down and eating, I'll listen in. So I might see you there, Daniel. Well, you will see me there, Daniel. I might as well go in. I'll have a bit of time while 3 episodes start. Oh, sugar, what time does he start? 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock, so I have plenty of time. I have 6 hours to watch. So yeah, I'll drop in the Blue Bonnet stream, and see what you are going to be talking about. But we could use a bit of a distraction because you put on TV now. It's Corona this and Corona that. I'm bleeding sick of it. I even put on FIFA. Right, I know I'm leaving, but I even put on FIFA, right? And a message came up, wishing something about like we self-isolating or so. I'll put the message up on Twitter anyway, but they sent us a bleeding message. Right, listen, goodbye, good night. Jesus. I'll see you all later, right? Have a good one. I'll leave you with this as usual. Again, this is from Unknown 289. Thank you for the intro, Eldro. Everybody that's contributed in the chat, thank you very much. I shall talk to you all later on. Have a good one.